today. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mastadon Creates podcast, episode 35. I'm Tori or Victoria, the mastermind behind the crazy, and thank you for joining me today. Before I jump into the episode, you can find me in a few places online. You can find me on Instagram as Tori Schaffner. I'm most active there. You can find me on Ravelry as lilwestie, Lilwestie. You can of course find me on the blog, and I have show notes there at woolymastodon.wordpress.com. You can find me on YouTube as Victoria Schaffner, and I am on Facebook also as myself and Woolly Mastodon. I'm just not as active there and really haven't been active on there for a few weeks now. So with that, let's just jump into the episode today. Today is Saturday. I already checked this, but instantly forgot. It's Saturday, November 14th. A wonderful, wonderful rainy day. Kind of busy today, but a very nice day. So we're not going to chat about life lately just yet. We'll get into that later because I have things to show today. I want to preface this with, again, I have a lot of secret projects, aka Christmas gifts, that I cannot show. So you will be seeing those later. I think I'm going to film some clips here and there so that I can share the things that I've made, or at least share photos once everything is said and done. But for now, I've been working on a lot of Christmas projects more like a week ago because I finished most things last weekend. But yeah, so that means I don't have quite as much to show right now. But just keep that in mind. I've been very busy knitting and crocheting. But I do have finished objects nonetheless. So let's jump in. You haven't seen this one in absolute ages. You have not seen this. This isn't blocked yet, so this isn't done. I should block this today because then this will be done. But this is Birds and Ships by Caitlin Hunter. This is a cowl. It's knit out of Knit Picks Chroma Fingering in the roller skate colorway, and I knitted on US 3.25 millimeter needles. You can certainly tell my gauge changed as time went on, which is why I really need to block this bottom section out. But it's pretty. I really like it. It is quite cozy. It is not loose fitting at all, which is fine because when I want to be warm, I'm just going to have it over my earrings. When I want to be warm in winter, I can be warm and cozy, and it can block out the cold. So I'm really looking forward, let's pull the earrings out. I'm really looking forward to this. This will be super nice, and like I said, it'll block out and be a little stretchier, but I love the color. It's neon, it's soft, it's squishy, so I'm really glad this is done. But I'm not going to keep this on because it's emotionally attached to my earrings right now. But as I was knitting with the skein, this teal emerged, and I just love the way this knit up. It's got this beautiful, not cable, almost faux cable lace detail in the center, and it's gonna have it has a little point at the bottom. As you can see, the back is smaller, so when you wear it, the front is obviously going to hang down a little bit more, which I really appreciate. I really like this. I think I would knit another one. I'd maybe knit it on a larger needle size just to have it a little wider, or I'd extend the width of it a little bit. But I like that it's got this garter and then it's stockinette from down. So, and actually, I've still got quite a bit of this yarn left. But you know what's going to happen with this? It's going in my granny stripe blanket. I'm just going to divide it up into smaller chunks, and it's going to go into that blanket because you'll be seeing that soon anyway. Because I'm obsessed with it. But this was the yarn. Knit Picks Chroma Fingering. Chroma is the kind. I keep forgetting that. Knit Picks Chroma Fingering in the roller skate colorway. I have had this for years. This is probably from one of the first orders of Knit Picks that I ever made. And I've just been holding on to it because it's my perfect colors and I just didn't want to waste it on anything. So I'm really happy about this. I think in this climate here, it'll be perfect. It doesn't snow as much here, but it does get cold eventually. I mean, it was in the 70s last week, so it does get cold occasionally. But this will be really nice to have when it does. So first one is done. Birds and Ships, Caitlin Hunter. I just randomly decided to pick it up because I wanted a smaller project once I had finished my Christmas stuff, because I'm mostly done with my Christmas knitting already. And I just finished it. It was really fun. And fun fact, I really screwed up I started knitting maybe about here, and I did a couple inches and I had to rip all of it back because I messed up. So, because I got cocky and thought I had the pattern memorized and I didn't. So, anyway, this is done. So I'm really happy about that. Just find places to check these things. Second finished object is a slightly different one. November 10th was Midnight's Gotcha Day. And she doesn't really like a lot of toys, although she kind of proved me wrong today. But she doesn't really like a lot of store-bought toys. She likes garbage. She likes bottle caps and lollipop sticks and anything that's not actually a cat toy. But I decided, I've seen things similar to this online where it's just this crocheted, ropey type texture. It's got a loop at the top that you can either hold on or hang on a doorknob. And then the bottom has a little crocheted stuffed ball, which you fill with catnip with the stuffing. So this was the first one I made. I made this that evening as a gift for her, and she seems to like it. I've hung it off of one of the doors so she has another item that she can play with at night, and I know she's played with it because this is stretched out and you can kind of see where the yarn has gotten fuzzy because, you know, she's playing with it and batting at it, and she's still got her claws. So red heart to the rescue here, because this is red heart yarn. I'm not sure what colorway, but this one's too long. We'll put it this way, this one's very long, so when it stretches out, from the doorknob height, it does lay on the floor now a little bit. But that's okay, because with this one, she likes to be lazy and just lay on the floor and pat it. So I did make another one then. I used leftovers from my pom-pom garland. This one is considerably shorter. Still gets hung on a doorknob, so it's about a good length. And then it's got the catnip. It's fiberfill, and I sprinkled catnip into the fiberfill and squished it all together and put it in here. So it's got the catnip in it, and actually this one, I was trying to finish attaching the ball to the string, and she was trying to take it from me because she knew it was hers. So these get hung off of different doors, and she seems to be playing with them, seems to like them, and they're fun to just play with her when we're goofing around. So I think I may have a toy that she kind of likes. Lion Brand does have a pattern released for this, but I didn't officially follow it because it's a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. When you crochet this part, they only have you using single crochets, and I use double crochets, and to be honest, I should have put more double crochets in each spot to make it even more windy, and I thought about doing treble crochets, but I didn't, so room to improve. But I made 2 of those, and those are a hit. So 2 cat toys, which she seems to enjoy to the extent that she enjoys toys. For whatever reason, she goes in spurts. She'll play with something and then she doesn't care about it for 2 months, and then right when you think she's done with it forever, she plays with it again. So I don't know. But that was my second finished object. My last finished object, of course, is a dishcloth. So I finished another dishcloth. I've only finished one. Again, miscellaneous scrap cotton, US, I believe 6. Yep, 4mm needles. And let's see if I've still got the ball band on this one. I believe I do. It is the Hampton Twists colorway. And I will just move right into the next one. I have started another one as well. So let me just set everything down so I don't lose it. Something's in my eye. So this is the finished one. I've only been working on these at work on breaks and lunches throughout the week. So that's why they're not getting worked on and finished quickly. But I'm working on everything else, so I'm not worried about it. And I cranked out quite a few gifts in the short span of time. So this is a finished dishcloth. I think it's really cute. I actually think it's kind of a Christmassy colorway, if you can see that. The marled colors. And then I did start a second one. I'm not super far on this, but again, I'm only working on breaks and lunches when I decide to work on it. You know, not too bad. So I started a second one. I think I'll probably finish the second one, and then the scraps will probably go on into my magic cake of cotton yarn. I'm running into something and I don't know what I'm running into. I am running into a horribly placed long ruler. Let's move that. Okay. But that is my last finished object and segue my first work in progress. So that is that. That's what I've been working on there. And I've got a lot more to show this time because I've picked up some old things, but let's start with things you've seen already. We'll move on to the granny stripe. I have been working on this. I did indeed make another magic cake, and I have used quite a bit of it already. So this is my second magic cake. You can kind of see it's kind of self-destructing, but you can see the different colors in here. And this is getting on a crocheted on a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is a Knit Picks crochet hook, and I have added a few more rows to this. I'm trying to find the end so I don't rip everything out, but it'll be fine either way. But I have added a few more rows to this, and I did test this on our queen size bed. It fits just fine. It's queen size. For some reason I didn't think it looked that long, but that's just because it's a gigantic strip of fabric, and when I get farther on this I'll definitely be able to tell it's a queen size blanket. But I added probably 4 rows on here. So it is surely growing. This is the granny stripe blanket, roughly based off of Attic 24's free pattern online. It's on their website, but you can also link it from Ravelry. Let's see. This is a magic cake of yarn, so it's tied in a way that the knots don't have any ends to weave in, and I've slightly color managed just by watching which colors bump up to it next to each other in the skein. And yeah, it's just a gigantic granny stripe blanket, and I've been really enjoying crocheting on this. It's very relaxing, it's very soft, and I just really like this project, and I never thought I would enjoy a project that's going to be this long term and this large scale, but I'm really enjoying it. So this is still in the works. I probably should start using a stitch marker to show how much I've actually worked on, because we're to the point where it's not going to look like there's any progress even if I've done a lot. I apologize, there's something in my eye. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry there. But that is my second technically work in progress. I'm checking my list because I have more this time. Third work in progress. You may have guessed it. I finally have worked on my Featherweight by Hannah Fettig. It still looks pretty small, but since I last showed you, I purposely put the stitch marker where I left off last time. I've knit a little over an inch on it, so I have gotten some work on here. And I haven't done a whole lot, but it's really nice to knit on because it's just stock knit. It's very simple. I haven't finished knitting this pattern, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is a great beginner sweater pattern if you want to use fingering weight yarn, because just reading ahead on the pattern is so simple. But this will be top down. This would actually be the top. But anyway, we're slowly making shoulder shaping for it to go over the shoulders, and then it'll have a shawl collar so that it'll kind of cover up in the front. But it is a more open sweater. This is knit out of the, I can't even remember what it is. It's Knit Picks Stroll Tonal in the Eucalyptus colorway. I am alternating skeins every 2 rows. And even then there's quite a bit of variation, so it's a good thing I'm alternating skeins. And I'm knitting this on a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter needle. So I did get some work on this, and I think I'll work on it some more this weekend. So this has gotten some work. Very enjoyable. I set everything down. So there's a view of the cake of the yarn. So that is another work in progress. And you might be thinking, well, I haven't seen your socks, but other than that, that's about all you've got cast on. I didn't work on my socks one bit, so they're not even in here right now. But I unearthed ye old Hedgehog Mittens last night. And I've noticed again that I'm kind of fall into this trap of I'll get onto a project and it may have a slightly more difficult skill, and I just feel like in my brain I've worked it up to the point where I'm not going to work on that right now. There's too much. It's too much to deal with. And then I come back to it a year later, months later, and I pick it up. I'm like, why did I set it down? There's nothing hard about this at all. Case in point, Hedgehog Mitts. I picked these up last night after not having worked on them for months. This is a pattern by Spilly Jane, And I have knit all the way up from the kitty stitch marker, so you can see how much I've done. So I'm actually starting this top row as the very bottom of another set of hedgehogs, and then you finish up at the top. So, and then the back, you can see where I've put the waste yarn for the thumb. But this is just working up. It was so fun last night. I've been using the Continental Stranded colorwork method that Kristen of Villenvine podcast has on her podcast. It's a fantastic tutorial on how to knit Continental Stranded colorwork, and you only have the strands, both strands stay in your left hand, which is super, super nice because I knit Continental, and that colorwork method is so much easier for me. So I have knit as much as 2 inches on here, and for a colorwork mitten, that's quite a bit considering I haven't touched it in months and months. And yeah, so I'm really happy about this. These are being knit on US 1 2.25mm needles, and I have to read the colors because it's been so long. This is Celadon Heather. This is, which one is it? This is Oyster Heather. And this is actually going to duplicate stitch the faces, and I'm using it as the scrap yarn for the thumb. And then this is Bison. And so much fun. This is just working up so quickly. I don't know what happened. I don't know what change in my brain decided to take place recently, but I am knitting this up. It's really, really squishy. My gauge is finally evening out a little bit, so yes, they won't be completely even, but my hedgehog mitts are in the works, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for these, because then with all the floats on the inside, well, ignore that. That's the white is going to come out because that's that extra yarn. But with the floats on the inside, it makes it extra warm, and you don't catch on them because they're very small. So, I'm sorry, I've got like fuzz and cat hair everywhere. But yeah, and that's where my little black cat stitch marker went, so that makes sense. But yeah. This is my last work in progress, and this hasn't been out to play in a long time, so I'm really glad to be working on that again. I didn't want to put it down last night, but it was almost 11 o'clock, and I was like, I need to go to bed. So, and my cat decided she needed to sleep on me, so it was certainly time to put it away. But these are back out, and I hope to get these in the works again, and maybe finish the first mitten and start on the second one. So I'm really enjoying this again. I'm glad they're out. I'm glad I decided to pick them up. Because once I picked them up and started knitting on them, I didn't want to stop. So, this is my last work in progress. From there, normally I'd say the episode's going to end really quickly, but I actually have some things to share this week. But for now, haven't touched spinning, haven't touched sewing, upcoming cast-ons. I have a few more things I may or may not make, I'm not sure. But for the most part, my Christmas gifts making is done. Like, I can't even believe I'm saying that. It's not even halfway through, well, it's almost halfway through November, but my Christmas knitting is almost done, which is good because I am going to have to drop off some things eventually, earlier than I normally would, but it'll be nice to have most of my Christmas stuff done quite a ways ahead of time, so I'm looking forward to that, and you'll get to see that stuff eventually. Let's see, and then I think it's going to be, right now I'm more into the mode of finishing stuff I've already gotten on the needles. But I think as the holiday season creeps in, I want to make some Christmas projects if I can for decoration and so forth. So I may do that. But then other than that, I think it's going to be 2021 knitting goals. I think that's that'll be my next upcoming. And I think 2021, I want to focus more on, this is going to be ironic because you'll see what I'm about to show in a minute, but I want to focus more on using what I have and maybe even making a series off of that if you want to see it. Of just using things that you have, using less expensive yarn, or using what you have to make things. You don't always have to buy something new. And like I said, I'm going to be a hypocrite because for the first time in a month, I have something new. But anyway, I want maybe lead into that for upcoming cast-ons. But other than that, I do indeed have a couple stash enhancements today. So this morning, my husband and I ventured into Madison for the first time in forever to actually shop. We haven't gone shopping in Madison since before lockdown. think the last time we went into a Target was literally the weekend before they went into lockdown, so I could buy my desk. So when I could work from home, I'd have an actual desk, and now I could have a sewing desk. So it's been a long time. But our Hobby Lobby just happens to be right next to our Target. So I got some yarn. Let's see. We'll start with the crazy one first. I don't even know if these are, well, they do have color names. Okay, so I got, these are all Yarn Bees authentic hand-dyed yarn, which is brand new. I didn't know they sold this until I saw something online, and then I'm like, I have to go. I do like Hobby Lobby. They have a lot of things you can't get anywhere else, so I do like getting yarn from them. But this is called Coral Carrot. It's 400 yards of a fingering weight yarn. And it is, what is the yarn content in here? 100% superwash merino wool. So maybe not ideal for socks, but I'm still going to use it for socks. So this is Coral Carrot. It's absolutely crazy. It's got this bright orange, and then it's mixed in with teal and purple speckles. So I got one of those. And their yarn was 30% off, so that was nice. And then I got one skein of Hazel Basil, which is this pretty green colorway. Really nice. It's kind of washing out. I don't know. You can kind of see the color a little better over here, but it's washing out. And then the last one I got in the same line again is Iron Soot. And it's this tonal gray color, and it's very pretty. I will say they don't have enough stock in store from what I saw to like get... Sorry guys, my alarm is gonna go off. But they didn't have enough stock in store to like get a sweater quantity from what I could see. Maybe you can order it online, I don't know, but for what I'm doing, I'm intending this yarn for socks. So, which is what I've wanted to do. And I have black and gray stroll that I had ordered at the very beginning of the year that I can use for heels, toes, and cuffs. Actually, I think the black would maybe work best with both of these, just to have heels, toes, and cuffs. So, I got yarn. Not this. This is from a while ago. But yeah, I bought yarn. I was in a Hobby Lobby. So these are my stash enhancements for the first time in forever, and I'm super excited. It was so nice to look at yarn in person and buy some yarn. And it was on sale, and this is not indie dyed, so it is going to be less expensive. These skeins are normally $14.99, which yes, yarn is very expensive. They were on sale, but indie dyed yarn is $25 to $35 a skein. So this is half the price, and I got it on sale, so it was even better. I'm excited. And then we're gonna move into Non-Knit Loves, which is basically more stash enhancements, because when you go into Hobby Lobby, you don't just buy yarn. Actually, last time I went into a Hobby Lobby, I walked out with nothing. First time in my life I had walked out of a Hobby Lobby with nothing. Not this time, obviously, but last time. Because I was looking for yarn, and this didn't exist at that time, and I had used all the colors of Patton's Croy that they carried that I wanted to make for socks. So, this is exciting. But, let's divide this up. Long story short, we're getting into kind of Christmas spirit. I'm trying to get into the Christmas spirit a little bit more this year for various reasons. One being that my mom was kind of the person who Mom and I were the ones who were always super into Christmas, and I just want to carry on that tradition, and one of her traditions was to have nutcrackers everywhere. And I told my husband I wanted to get a nutcracker, but I didn't want just any old nutcracker. I wanted to find one that I actually thought was nice, because I do have a couple. They're both the Mouse King. They're both two different versions of the Mouse King from the Nutcracker, and my dad didn't really like them, but Mom and I picked them out, and I wanted them, so I have those. But at Hobby Lobby, they had nutcrackers, and of course they were 50% off, so I got this guy. I think he's cute. I still got the tag on him, but he's got a little bell on him, and he's almost like a little gnome, a Christmas gnome. I think he's cute, so I got him. He's cute, and even my husband was like, yeah, that's the one. And then I got some ornaments, which I could also, we'll have to see how well they stand, but they may be able to just be standalone decorations as well. And my mom always had these on the tree, so I thought it'd be nice to get a set to have, because it just reminds me of Christmas. So I got a set of ornaments. Oh, and I've got my paper here because Thanksgiving place cards need to be made, and I didn't have any cardstock. Anyway, I just got everything set here. But yeah, we went there, and then we went to Target, and of course Target is the queen of pouches, so I found another knitting pencil case that I'm going to use for, like, you put crochet hooks, oh, upside down. You could put crochet hooks and notions and different things in here, and it screamed crochet hooks to me, so I got that. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I'll probably be wearing this. It's just sitting here. They had Harry Potter shirts on sale. You now get to see what size I'm wearing. You don't need to see that. 9 3/4 Hogwarts Express. But yeah, so that was kind of nice. We haven't ventured out, so this we'll veer right into life lately here. We haven't really ventured out into town at all, so it was kind of nice to go and shop at a couple stores. We went into Menards, yay. And then just get lunch and spend a morning out on town, which we haven't done in forever, masked up of course, but it was busy. I did not expect it to be as crazy busy as it was with everything going on, and I didn't expect Hobby Lobby to be insanely busy, and it was. So I don't know, it was fine. But yeah, other than that, we're looking forward to the Thanksgiving holiday. What am I looking here? Let's see if I've got any notes here. I'm leaning towards decorating even earlier this year, maybe beginning this week. I guess it's not that early, but starting to slowly decorate for Christmas and get into the Christmas spirit. So that's what we're doing here. Otherwise, we're just looking forward to the holiday and having some time off, since we both will have that. And yeah, it's just, we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to knitting. And last weekend I actually had an extra day off because I had to start using my PTO that I didn't realize I needed to use up. I didn't realize I had that much left. So I took an extra day off, and I got a lot of cooking and knitting. That's why there's so much done here, is because I did a lot of stuff last weekend, so that was great. But yeah, other than that, I think before I ramble, I should just cut it off here, because it's the same old, same old. We're staying home, we're making stuff, the usual. But this time I had things to show, like yarn. But anyway, I should just wrap this up now. I'm getting weird. So thank you for watching this podcast. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, subscribe, comment below, share it with new friends. I would love to join this community here on the interwebs. Again, you can find me on Instagram as Tori Schaffner. I'm most active there. You can find me on Ravelry as lilwestie. You can find me on WordPress, or the blog, mastadon.wordpress.com. And you can also find me on YouTube as Victoria Schaffner. Again, I'm not super active on Facebook. I am there, and actually I've been less active on Facebook on purpose, just to kind of take a step back. So you may not be seeing as many things on Facebook. I'll still share my usual shares from Instagram and my podcast and everything, but other than that, I don't know that I'll be really doing a whole lot more on there anyway. But with that, thank you for watching this lovely episode. I hope you have a wonderful couple good weeks and a good holiday, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye. Things you don't ask.